Update from this Saturday's race. It's a very interesting night racing. It was the Boss Sprint Car Series, which meant we had quite a high sprint car count, and there were quite a few mods there as well, which in turn meant that we had a lot of big horsepower, big tire cars out there changing the way the track is normally on any night. And then with all this crazy heat that we've had, the track was pretty dry. Just as we were loading my car up, we happened to notice that my front subframe was bent about 2 inches. As you remember last week, when I was having fueling problems, my car was falling back through the feature race. At some point, I got rubbed on the right front, and that was enough of a hit apparently to bend my subframe. I didn't even notice, but it's definitely bent. So I went out there, fully expecting my car to not handle as I would have liked it to. In the hot laps, it actually did pretty good. I didn't think the car was that bad. I drew a 17 and Alex drew an 8, and that put us both in heat number 1, and it was a stacked heat. Like, all the fast cars were there, and I knew immediately that my car wasn't going to do well. I hit the first corner and my car pushed like a dump truck all the way up to the wall. I mean, I locked my brakes up out there a couple times. I finished 4th place in that, and Alex finished 2nd place. And Alex got beat to death. Ended up making contact with a couple cars because everybody was out there just spinning and sliding everywhere. Ended up getting bonked in this corner, which didn't look too bad on the outside, but it managed to cave in that rocker, which doesn't matter too much because we put 3x3 angle down so the car stays rigid, but managed to get hit back here. A dent in the one spot that it's almost impossible to hammer a dent out in. Pretty good dent there. A lot of tire marks. It's racing, and we know the car is going to get beat up, so we can no longer call Alex's car a fresh build. It's definitely took its fair share of hits last night, but not too bad. I'm currently 4th in points by 5 points still, and Alex is all the way up into 2nd place in points right now, which is awesome. So it's amazing that after all that crap, he still finished 2nd in his heat, and then he led a few laps in the feature and managed to finish 2nd place in that, which is really, really good. I can tell you that my fuel system is definitely a lot happier than it was the week before. What I need to figure out now is an appropriate tire to run during that dry slick. Because when it is dry slick, the same old tires that we always run just are not cutting it anymore. I'm pretty sure that the suspension setups that I have right now on these cars could do well in dry slick if we had more lateral grip. So I'm going to have to explore a few different tire options. Another thing that I would like to identify on these cars is what changes I can make to the suspension to accommodate different track conditions. Because as it stands, I have base numbers that I just keep consistent no matter what. And after what the track did to us last night, even though Alex finished 2nd, he was just wheeling the car to keep that 2nd place. I think we can do better for that circumstance. So, gonna have to do a little bit of research, probably try and find some softer tires, and then maybe research caster, because I've never really played with any of that. And
for 2 weeks.
We're off for 2 weeks now, so we'll have some time to play around with the cars. Really, mechanically speaking, I can change my subframe and I can be back in the track. Alex's car, I mean, he can just hit the track right now. And if it were a slightly wetter track than we had, I think we'll do pretty good. But since that's not a guarantee, we need to focus on an alternative setup for these cars just for that dry slick circumstance. But we'll get them figured out.